Hi, good day to all. Again, with one more message, which will, I believe, which will strengthen you, will change your life. Today, I would like to speak to you on 3 best things to have a successful life, which are so important, which will change our dimension. 3 best things which will lead us to success. First one is about our thought, because most of the time our life is completely dependent on decisions what we make. So for any decisions you make, 3 things are so important. First one is the thought. We have to discipline ourselves to consider the thought as just a thought. Thought is just an information transferred to inside of your brain about your circumstances. It's just an opinion. It is not the reality, or it's not the truth. It is just an opinion or a reflection of the circumstances which you get through your 5 senses. Once more, I'd like to say it once more. Thoughts are just an opinion or a reflections what you receive through your 5 senses about the circumstances what you're going through. So don't believe all thoughts as itself, because the thoughts, it's because you believe the thoughts, that's why you're going through so much of stress, so much of depression, so much of bad time you're going through. You're not able to overcome the things. So the thoughts are just a thought, and do not believe as itself. The thought should not have any influence inside you without your permission. Thoughts, once more, thoughts should not have any influence inside you without your permission. When you discipline your thought, because as a thought itself, there is nothing like positive or negative. When it gets inside your brain, and the second thing, the second level where it goes, then only it becomes, the thought becomes positive or negative. Or as itself, thought is not at all powerful. It is powerless. Thought as it is, it cannot do anything. So first one, discipline your thought. You should be the master of your thought. Do not, without your permission, never let your thought to influence you. Second thing, very important. Second thing, it is so important. We should be very careful of this. Is the emotions about the communication. Most of the time, these thoughts are communicated to us without our knowledge. Very serious. You should understand this. The second one is the communication of the thought. When a thought comes to you about the circumstances, it's been communicated unknowingly. That's why we are out of control. We don't know what to do. It happens to us always, because suddenly a thought comes and we communicate to ourselves about that thought without our permission, without our knowledge. Most of the it's interpreted by our unconscious mind without the knowledge. It is interpreted without the knowledge by our unconscious mind. So suddenly we take a decision, suddenly we make a decision and we get upset. So we should have a right communication about the thought. Only after this communication, this thought becomes positive or negative. Until then, this thought is just a thought. Until we make a communication about this thought is just a thought. When we make the perfect communication, it becomes positive thought. Or if we communicate ourselves about this thought in a wrong way, it becomes negative thought. Any decisions you make is completely dependent on the communication what you make about a thought. Any decision in your family, in your business, anything, and in your studies, anything, any decision you make is dependent, completely dependent on the communication what you make about just an opinion what you receive about your circumstances. Because the thought which came into you is just a plain opinion from through your five senses. That's not at all real. But how you communicate, everything depends on that. The decision making completely depends on that. So senses are just a media of communication. Our eyes, ears, nose, taste buds, the skin, all these are the media of communication to our brain, to our sensory things which communicates. The what we receive through these senses, it becomes thought, and thought as a thought is just a thought. But until we communicate the thought to ourselves, how we communicate, only then that will become in next level of decision making. So before you make a decision, just think, just wait, just communicate yourself about the thought. See, when you discipline your thought, you become strong, confident in yourself. When you filter your thoughts, you become really confident. But when you communicate rightly about the thought, you become stronger and you will never be shaken. Yes, I can see that. I'm sure about that. When you have a right communication about the thought, you will really be stronger and never be shaken. And very important thing, once in a queue, a big queue, there was a mother and a child standing in front of the queue. Behind, the big queue was there, and the baby was so disturbing there. Baby was just disturbing, making noise, and everybody was disturbed by that baby. So mother, she started telling Anna, behave yourself. Again she said, Anna, behave yourself. After some time, again she said, Anna, behave yourself. But an elderly man behind, he said, my dear sister, if you say like this, how will the child understand? So make her understand a little more easily. Tell her nicely, in a nice way, so that she can understand. Suddenly she, as a mother, she told to that old man, sir, I'm not speaking to her, I'm speaking to myself. Anna is me. She was talking to herself. Anna, behave yourself. So, thought as it, the communication, the thought as it cannot do anything inside you. But how you communicate yourself about the thought, that will change your dimension. This will make you stronger and never be shaken. The third one is how you feel, or emotion, how you feel about this. I was just telling an example. When if you go to a doctor and he diagnoses, he examines and he says, oh, you have a cancer. How do you feel? Oh, I'm going to die. The first feeling is, I'm going to die. But at the same time, the doctor diagnoses and say, it's just a fever, small fever. Don't worry. You don't get that feeling, because what we felt, why this happens, because the feeling is completely dependent on the records what you have recorded and stored inside you through your experiences. You are feeling that about your circumstances only because of the records what you have stored about the circumstances in your life, what you have seen, what you have experienced, what you have studied, what you have learned through your in your family, in your school, in your education, everywhere. You have recorded many things. That information is the root of feeling, emotions. So if you want to have a right feeling about any circumstances, you need to have a right information inside you. Only the right information can give you right feeling. Yes, 12 people will sent to see how that city was. Can we overtake that city? 2 came and said, no, we cannot overcome that city because we feel like we are like a grasshopper in front of them. They're big people. They're strong. But 10 people came and said like that. But 2 came and said, we can do it. It's how you feel. It's that they felt that they can do it because the God is with them. So it's about a right feeling. Right feeling comes from the right information. Today, if you want to become a successful or an overcomer, 3 things. Discipline your thought. Do not believe your thought as itself. Just filter your thoughts. Discipline your thought. Have a right communication about what you're thinking. The thought path, what the thought came inside. Have a right communication. And before believing your feeling, you just think where this feeling is coming from. Is it from the present circumstances or from the past information what you have already stored inside you? If you can discipline these 3 areas, you can have a better decision and you can have a overcoming successful life. Filter your thoughts, have right communication and a right information inside you to have a right feeling. Thank you. If it is a blessing to you, share this and subscribe this channel and press that bell button. Thank you.